Now, Real Housewives fans, buckle up. Because today, we're breaking down a story that has quietly unfolded behind the glitz, the diamonds, and the Beverly Hills lifestyle we think we know. A story that mirrors the emotional tone of the iconic Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos narrative. But this one is very much rooted in the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. This is the story of Mauricio Umansky and Kyle Richards, the marriage that built a reality TV empire, the pressure cooker that fame created around them, and the emotional unraveling that viewers never saw coming. This isn't about gossip. This is about the very real human experience behind the camera, how two people who once synced perfectly, like a modern Hollywood power couple, found themselves forced to confront what years of pressure had slowly created. Let's begin. The Golden Years. Long before fan speculation, hints of separation, or emotional confessions on RHOBH, Mauricio and Kyle were that couple, the one people pointed to and said, "See, marriage can survive Beverly Hills." They radiated stability. He was the charming, driven real estate powerhouse, turning the agency into a global luxury brand. She was the beloved child star turned housewife, the anchor of the ensemble, the sister navigating fame, family, and responsibility. Together, they represented a modern fairy tale version of success. If the Bravo universe ever had its equivalent of Kelly and Mark, that unwavering duo that fans felt they knew, it was Mauricio and Kyle. But, just like the Ripa Consuelo story hinted, success often hides the cracks beneath the surface. And for Mauricio and Kyle, the cracks began forming long before the world caught on. The shift no one could ignore. On an RHOBH, viewers started feeling it before anyone said it out loud. A certain pause in conversations, a distracted smile, a missing wedding ring. Fans online debated endlessly. Is it for storyline? Is this a phase? Are they trolling the audience? But off-screen, friends noticed something deeper. Kyle began spending more time at the gym, leaning into self-work and self-reinvention. Her emotional vulnerability on the show became sharper, more reflective, less filtered. Mauricio, at the same time, was carrying the weight of expanding the agency, filming Buying Beverly Hills, managing multiple teams, and maintaining the public persona of the smooth, effortless closer. Like many couples who have been together for decades, their lives had begun running on parallel tracks, close enough to touch, but rarely intersecting. The shift was subtle at first, but subtle shifts often become seismic wounds. The media storm. Then came the headlines, the stories, the theories. Suddenly, their marriage, once admired for its privacy and calm, became the centerpiece of tabloid obsession. Every RHOBH trailer, every paparazzi photo, every Instagram caption. Fans weren't just speculating. They were dissecting. And as with Kelly and Mark's Halloween phenomenon that grew into a cultural wave, Kyle and Mauricio's relationship became something bigger than themselves. Except this wave wasn't fun. It wasn't celebratory. It was heavy, relentless, unavoidable. Kyle later admitted in multiple interviews that the noise became overwhelming. Mauricio, too, acknowledged the pressure, the feeling that every moment of their personal life had become public property. Their journey became less of a love story and more of a case study in what happens when a long marriage collides with the modern media cycle. Part 4. The Emotional Reveal. Then, on RHOBH, came one of the most emotional scenes the franchise had seen in years. The moment Kyle broke down, speaking about the distance growing between her and Mauricio, it stunned viewers. Not because the marriage had issues, many had guessed that. It stunned people because of how honest it was. Because for decades, Kyle had been the housewife who held it together. The glue of the cast. The diplomat. The reliable narrator. But in that confession, she wasn't Kyle Richards the Bravo icon. She was Kyle Richards the wife. Kyle Richards the human. And in a moment that echoed the tone of Kelly Ripa's emotional studio confession, the one where her voice wavered, and viewers felt something they weren't prepared for, Kyle gave audiences something raw. Not drama, not storyline. Truth. Mauricio, too, had his emotional moment on Buying Beverly Hills, explaining to his daughters how painful the speculation had become. It became clear. This wasn't staged. This wasn't for ratings. This was a marriage in real time, evolving, shifting, and transforming under the weight of the public eye. The parallel live yes. As the months went on, something interesting happened. Fans noticed that Kyle and Mauricio's paths began reflecting the very themes that have made celebrity couples like Kelly and Mark so compelling to audiences. Growth. Reinvention. A new chapter emerging out of the ashes of an old one. Kyle leaned into self-discovery, fitness, sobriety, boundaries, self-reflection. Mauricio leaned into expansion, new markets, new shows, new professional challenges. They weren't collapsing. They were shifting. And sometimes shifting looks like breaking. But sometimes shifting looks like becoming. The family factor. One thing remained unwavering throughout the emotional storm: their daughters. Just like Kelly and Mark's family-centered universe where their kids were an anchor point, Mauricio and Kyle's daughters were the heartbeat behind every difficult decision. Farah, Sophia, Alexia, and Portia, each of them navigating the awkward, painful, delicate position of watching their parents' lives unfold on camera. Their honesty in interviews, their unity on social media, and their presence in both parents' lives showed something important. Whatever the future holds, this is still a family. Not broken, not fractured. Just different. And for a family that has lived under cameras for more than a decade, that difference is monumental. The transition year, 2024 into 2025, became the year of transitions for the Richards-Umansky family. Kyle embraced independence, not rebellion, not scandal, but independence rooted in self-worth. Mauricio embraced professional growth, not avoidance, but ambition. Both were choosing themselves in ways they hadn't before. Both were learning to communicate in a new emotional language, one that didn't rely on pretending everything was perfect, but acknowledging that the future can hold uncertainty and hope at the same time. And for fans who had grown up watching them, much like those who followed Kelly and Mark's transformations, the narrative felt deeply familiar. This is what long marriages look like. This is what real life looks like. This is what love, even in transition, looks like. The reality no one wants to say out loud. The truth is, most people don't get 27 years of marriage in their lifetime. Most people don't get a partnership that survives decades of fame, pressure, criticism, and reinvention. Mauricio and Kyle did. And no matter what comes next, reconciliation, reinvention, or simply a new form of family, what they built will always stand. Not because they were perfect, but because they were real. The same way Kelly and Mark's Halloween transformations became iconic because of their authenticity, not their costumes, Kyle and Mauricio's story resonates because of its humanity, not its glamour. This isn't the end of a love story. It's the evolution of one. Where they stand now. As of now, Mauricio and Kyle continue to co-parent, communicate, and remain a presence in each other's lives. They spend holidays together, appear at family events together, cheer for their daughters together. Some fans root for reconciliation. Some believe they've already found a new, healthier dynamic. But the truth is, only they know the full story, and maybe that's okay. For decades, they shared their lives with the world. Perhaps now, they're taking back the parts that were always meant to be private. El Futuro. If there's one takeaway from the story of Mauricio Umansky and Kyle Richards, it's this. Behind every reality show frame is a real family, real pressure, real emotion. And sometimes the bravest thing two people can do is grow, even if it means growing in different directions. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know. What do you think the future holds for Kyle and Mauricio? Until next time, stay tuned, stay curious, and stay kind.